I've said over and over again, if I was a pitcher, I'd rather face somebody who's hopped up on whatever, fertility drug, gets, mixed with a horse tranquilizer and gets shot in their right glute. I'd rather that person with a trapezoid head be standing there than the person who knows what pitch is coming. Now I'm asking an actual former pitcher.
That's a great analogy, and I get where you're going, but as a life of a pitcher,
yes,
you're right. I mean, if I'm a pitcher and you make your living, and I've heard this, and it's such a lame analogy. Well, the hardest thing to do is hit a round ball with a round bat and hit it square. But to get to that level, we're talking about the most elite of the elite players that get to the big league level. So most of them can hit a fastball, and if you can't hit a breaking ball, you're going to hang around in AAA. And some guys aren't, but they learn to adjust. But if you know what's coming, and particularly in the day and age that baseball is now, high velocity, more bullpens in baseball have guys throwing 95 and above.
Right.
If you don't throw 95 and above, you don't get a look. There are very few Kyle Hendricks in baseball right now, right-handers that throw 88 to 91 that could sink it, cut it, guys that you and I grew up watching that could, it was more of an art. Now it's about overpowering. And in a game where that's where it's played, if you know that you're either looking for 98 or you're looking for something off speed, it makes it a lot easier. I'm not saying that you're going to get a hit every time, but I go back to the one playoff game, and Tom Verducci, our colleague here, and he works for Fox also, the Game 5, I believe, that Kershaw was knocked out of the fifth inning.
Yep.
There was I can't remember the exact number, but over 40 breaking balls he threw in that
swings
game.
And misses. Zero.
Not one was swung and missed at.
Zero.
Don't you find that alarming?
Of course, and that's part of this, Dan Plesac here, and that's part of why this is still alive. This cheating scandal is still going to obviously manifest itself on the road when Houston's on the road, in places like Oakland, here in Southern California with the Los Angeles Angels, when they do show up in New York in September, by the way. So that's where that'll spark back again. The Dodgers, whoever makes it from the Astros for the All-Star game, has got to be here in the home of the Dodgers for the Midsummer Classic. So it's going to crop up throughout the months of the season. And the reason why it's not going to go away is twofold. One is because Jim Crane, the owner of the Astros, was so manifestly awful at trying to address this subject, not once but twice. That's number one. And number two is we still don't know. We still do not know what exactly was utilized by the Astros in that 2017 postseason. We don't know if it was the World Series. We don't know if it was the ALCS. We don't know if it was the ALDS, but we do know the commissioner believes it happened, and we still don't know the exact instance. We can parse it with video on Twitter and social media, but I would love for the commissioner to just come out and say, here's the evidence that we got. This is transparent. This is where we saw it in the postseason. So at least maybe some party that believes they are aggrieved, where Dodger fans want to, hoist a blue asterisk on a flag when the Astros come in for any All-Star festivities. At least we know, we have no evidence happened in the World Series. At least that would be helpful, right?
And I think what surprised me, talking with players throughout baseball, that I think, Rich, everybody in every sport is looking for that edge, right? And I think every guy, every team, every player knows the difference between right and wrong. And I think what has irritated the other 29 teams, and when you get guys speaking out, I mean, very rarely, Mike Trout, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, not guys that are over-the-top verbal. You really don't hear much from those guys. I just think, Rich, that the other 29 teams, and this isn't coming from, I initially thought the wave was going to be a bunch of beaten-up pitchers that had their brains beaten out, but it hasn't been. And that's the part that has alarmed me, but I think this is just my estimation of talking to players is all teams were trying to gain an edge, whether you're getting the signs, stealing them from second base, third base, whatever it is. But I think the level that the Astros went to, that's what the players are taking offense of. Like, listen, guys and teams have been trying to get signs from third base coaches and from pitchers and catchers that, expose the signs, they don't cover it up, hold the glove, leave their legs open. First and third base coach can look in and see what's coming. If you're using the same set of signs, that's been part of baseball since Moby Dick was a minnow, right? But I think the level that the Astros took it to in real time is what infuriated a lot of players, and it still does.